What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show, and Happy New Year 2025. It's good to be back. I hope you all had a great holiday season. I want to thank everyone for all your support and understanding during my little hiatus of the last month or so. And I have to say, everyone that sent us kind messages, condolences, comments for the passing. Remember the Game's illustrious CEO, our puppy Molly. Thank you all so much. We really, really appreciate that. And we're super proud to announce that our 5th annual Blanky Awards are coming up in just a couple of weeks. And we are sticking with the tradition we started last year. And our Game of the Year award from here on out is officially dubbed the Molly, a legendary award for a legendary CEO. So thank you to everyone that's been so nice to us over the last month or so. But we're back. It's a new year. I'm recharged and ready to go. And we're kicking off 2025 with an episode of this podcast that I feel like I have been promoting for, it feels like 6 weeks or so now. And that is Mega Man Battle Network for the GBA. I don't think it's any secret that I'm a pretty big Mega Man fan. I love that little blue bastard, but I've never strayed off the beaten trail and checked out the Battle Network games. And I don't really know why. I wasn't playing a ton of games back when they came out. Admittedly, I don't love the design of Battle Network Mega Man, although he has grown on me a little bit since I played this game. I don't know if his design is enough to stop me from playing one. I guess I just never really realized exactly what they were, which is a tactical RPG starring Mega Man. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if tomorrow Capcom announced a tactical RPG Mega Man game, I'd probably cream my pants. It's one of my favorite genres. It's one of my favorite franchises. It's fucking peanut butter and chocolate. Let's go. So I finally fired up the Battle Network collection over my holidays, and despite people telling me to skip game 1 and start with the second entry in the franchise, I played through the first game. I like to see where everything begins, and my thoughts on Battle Network are kind of mixed. There's things about this game that I absolutely adore. Primarily the combat system, the chip system, which I think is fucking awesome. And then there's things about this game that I truly despise. Primarily the fucking maps in this game. I'm kind of meh on Battle Network 1, but I can say I liked it enough that I'm fascinated. I need to play more of these games and see where the franchise goes. Everyone tells me that it gets better with the second entry and so on, and I can guarantee all of you at some point there will be a Remember the Game about Mega Man Battle Network 2 at least. I always tell newcomers to the Mega Man series that they should maybe skip Mega Man 1 and start with Mega Man 2 because that's really where Capcom perfected the recipe. So I'm all too familiar with walking before running, and I want to battle more networks in the future. Joining me to talk Mega Man Battle Network is one of our resident RPG nerds, Power Craze Discord mod Keegs. We both agreed that there's a rock solid foundation for a franchise in this game, but it definitely has some wrinkles to iron out. And consider this your warning, we are going to spoil the end of Mega Man Battle Network in our review, and there is actually a fairly big plot point in there, so just be aware of that before you waste some time with us this week. And we'll get to all that in just a minute, because speaking of wasting your time, you know what it is. It's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. And listen, consider this your warning. Our intros are a little long. Not that long. They're fun. We talk video games and stuff. And navigating them isn't even a fraction as tough as navigating Mega Man Battle Network's maps. Holy fuck. Now, listen, normally I warn people to go to about the 30-minute mark and then you'd be into the video game chat. But for the new year, I'm shortening the intro a little bit. So I don't know how long this is going to be. Traditionally, this is where I do my plugs. I tell you about all of our extra podcasts. I play a clip of a Patreon episode. I just don't feel like doing it anymore. There's like 200 episodes of those. You know it. So let's see how fast we can do this. All of our merchandise is designed by my man Joe from 4545 Creative. You can find it at rememberthegamepodcast.com if you're looking for a new shirt, hoodie, coffee mug, whatever. And of course, the Remember the Game Lifeblood is our Patreon. We publish up to 4 extra podcasts every week. They don't have ads in them, and you can listen to them for as little as $3 a month. You can also write into the show, vote on the games we cover, join our 1,000+ member Discord, and you get instant access to hundreds and hundreds of archive bonus podcasts. And most importantly, when you sign up on Patreon, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons. And I'm going to warn you, there's quite a few this week because I haven't done this in almost a month. A huge thank you to our newest Patriots. Nintendo 64 Chalmers, Drew, CJ Godfrey, Fickle Chris, Retro Kong, I forget, Monair, Brock Bentley, double exclamation point. I get that reference. Ray, Cheese, Nito Burrito TX, Vinsol, Luke Mullen, Gramsers, Duster 70, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Low Gas Low, Matt, Duffman, A97, J-Rot, Mike P, Jared Lambert, Jeremiah Bueller, Highly Paid Racer, Joey Henderson, Matt Brady, Matthew Garcia, Anthony Matthews, ABC, Peter Benson, Nicky Boy, Hayden McGulgan, and Hey Yo Chico. I get that reference too. Thank you all so much for the support and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. And there's free episodes over there. If you want to try them out, there's free episodes if you want to see how it all works. And then again, subscriptions start at $3 a month. And if you sign up for a full year, you get your 12th month free. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Diddly Schlong, who said, is there any game in particular that you most regret selling? I was strapped for cash around 2005 and I sold my copy of Snow Bros on the NES for $50. Now that thing goes for like $300 and I genuinely miss the game. Dude, Snow Bros is a great game. Shout out. That's a hidden gem on the NES. We should do an episode on that eventually. I regret selling my whole collection. That's what I always tell people. If you need the money to eat, sell your collection. It's more important to eat food. But if you don't need it and you're just like, it's sitting in boxes or taking up space and I don't want it anymore, don't sell it unless you can do something cool with that money, because you won't be able to buy it back for whatever you sell it for. I sold my whole collection probably around 05, 06 as well. And the one thing I miss most of all is I sold my childhood copy of Earthbound. I know. And I don't remember what I sold it in part of like a package. So I probably got about $200 for it. And I'll tell you all right now, you see a copy of Earthbound somewhere for $200, you buy that shit. So that was a big mistake. Don't sell your collections unless you need the money. Or you're gonna you want to take a vacation or something, sell them. But just know you're never getting them back for what you sell them for. Nintendo 64 Chalmers said, I actually like that name. I didn't catch it first, that's not quite how it works. I like that. Hey, Adam, long-time listener, first-time blower. I know Mega Man is your jam, but I never hear you talk about MegaMan.EXE. Have you ever played it? If nothing else, the Metroidvania-ishness makes it stand out, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. I have not played MegaMan.EXE. I bought the ZX Legacy Collection off Steam. I have it on my Steam Deck, but I still have yet to fire it up. I'm aware of it. I'm interested. I tried Mega Man Legends sometime in the last year or so for the show and quite enjoyed it. I've tried Mega Man Battle Network now and thought it was cool. I've always been a Mega Man traditionalist, but I'm starting to grow fond of these new and strange Mega Man. So I have not played Mega Man.EXE yet, but I can assure you it's on my radar. Doesn't mean a lot because the backlog from hell is, right, it's a backlog from hell, but I am aware of them and I am interested. Peyton Parutka said, hey, Adam, I know you obviously talk mostly of video games, but do you have any interest in cars? Has there ever been a car that's your dream to have? For me, I always wanted a 1932 Ford Deuce Coupe, a classic hot rod. I'm going to be honest, Peyton, that could be a fake car and I wouldn't know. I am not a car guy. I don't know anything about, I know the gas goes in the hole on the side. And I know how to drive them, but I don't know anything of cars. My dream car growing up was I always just wanted to own a Jeep. And I did buy a Jeep quite some time ago. We eventually sold it. That was my old Jeep Wrangler. It was a good whip. I liked that car. But no, I'm sorry to all you rodders. Is that what you guys are called? Rodders? Rod riders? All you rod riders out there? I do enjoy riding the occasional rod, but I'm not a car guy. Bacon, Egg, and Cheese said, Blank Man, I'm catching up on games I've missed over the years. Recently just finished Final Fantasy VII Remake and loved it. I picked up Ghost of Tsushima during the Steam sale based on all the rave reviews, but I'm a little scared to start because I'm not a very big fan of stealthy games. As I understand it, neither are you, yet you frequently sing the praises of Ghost of Tsushima. So please give me the encouragement I need to start the game so I don't miss out on this adventure. Fucking do it. Play it. Everyone listening to this, if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, double secret probation. Triple double secret probation. Grow up. It's one of the greatest games I ever played. I fucking love Ghost of Tsushima. I hate stealth games. And if you need any proof of that, go back and listen to a Metal Gear Solid or our Alien Isolation episode. Ghost of Tsushima's not a lot of stealth. There's like, you can do a little bit of stealth if you want, or else you can just go in kicking ass and hacking and slashing. And it's awesome. Awesome setting, awesome story, awesome. Maybe the best villain this side of Bowser. Great combat. Can't wait for the sequel. Play it. Ghost of Tsushima, don't let it scare you off. The only reason you wouldn't like Ghost of Tsushima is if you don't like good things. It's awesome. Donkey Kong's Big Banana, I love big bananas, said, you've been sentenced to death for using Nintendo's music in your show. Fuck. What is your perfect last meal? A big-ass steak, medium rare, with a baked potato covered in sour cream and bacon bits and green onions, of course. Delicious Caesar salad with fresh croutons. Shaylee makes croutons that are like a crunch on the outside and then soft and chewy on the inside. And like, sex is good, but if you've never had a Shaylee crouton, you don't know. And none of you are allowed to have her fucking crouton. But no, so yeah, steak with all that, a couple glasses of wine, and then some scotch to wash it all down. And then for dessert, an entire freshly baked warm apple pie with a tub of vanilla ice cream. It's my favorite meal. It's perfect. Mark McHugh's high school phys ed teacher said, I really enjoyed the D-Make episode of Expansion Pass, and it's got me thinking, what would have happened had A Link to the Past been released as Zelda 3 on the NES, showing an improved art style a la Super Mario Bros. 3 improvements over the original? Would it still be held in as high of regard? Would Link's Awakening been released on the SNES and held in higher regard because of the 16-bit graphics? Ooh. I don't think Link's Awakening would be on the SNES. I think it would still be on the Game Boy. I think we might have gotten a different game on the SNES because it's like, I mean, we still got Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. We got the 3 Super Mario Brothers on the NES, and then we got Super Mario World. So I think we would have just, Link to the Past would have become Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES, and then we would have gotten something new on the Super Nintendo. Which, if you gave me that option right now to snap my fingers and make it happen, I'd have to think about it because on one hand, I would love to see Link to the Past as a D-Make 8-bit game and then get a new 16-bit Zelda. But on the other hand, I think Link to the Past is the best Zelda game. And that's fucking playing with fire to get rid of it. You know what? I think I would do it because I've played Link to the Past so many times I could just play through it in my head if the new one sucks. The new one wouldn't suck. Super Nintendo games don't suck. Mario's Missing sucks. But hey, we get the point. Can you imagine if we got like Zelda is Lost and it was just another educational game instead with a soundtrack that Mark McHugh fucking jerks off with all the time? Oh, terrible. Jarek Zatlukal said, I think we all dream of having a dream job, but does Remember the Game ever make you feel like gaming is a chore? I have an office job and occasionally make music extracurricularly. Nothing takes the musical passion away, like someone telling me exactly what kind of song they want and it being outside of my preferred genre. Other than the obvious ones like Alien Isolation, is the passion ever lost, or is there enough quality games, new or old, to keep the spark alive? Cheers. No, it definitely, I actually talked about it on The Rambling Idiot that'll be releasing this Friday. Going into this break I just took over the holidays, I had lost some passion for the show and for gaming. And there are still days, like I feel better about it. I'm very fortunate to have this job and I'm fully aware of that, but I still have days where I just don't, I don't mind so much playing games I don't like. Like I just finished Secret of Monkey Island, which will be coming up on Remember the Game in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to warn everyone right now, I'm not going to shit on it. I don't think it's bad, but I didn't like it. It just wasn't my type of game. Like point and click, just not something I really enjoy. I don't think it's so much that like I get mad that I have to play games I don't like. It's just that sometimes I just don't feel like playing games. And it's one thing when it's during like my 9 to 5 hours and I'm at work and it's like, oh yeah, instead of driving a forklift, I'm playing Xbox. This is pretty dope. But like you do spend a lot of your evenings and weekends playing games when this is your job and you need to work on it. And I'm not complaining. It's a sweet job. But yeah, there are times where I'm like, I would rather be doing something else, but I got to get this game done. And I've heard other game reviewers say that as well. So I remember somebody saying once, the minute you take $1 to do something, it becomes a job. And I think that's the case. That became the case with stand-up, and it has become the case with video games. But that said, I'm still not crazy enough to think this isn't like the coolest job I could have. So I still like it. But yeah, a little bit of the passion. A little bit of the passion is gone. I still love them, but a little bit of the passion is gone. It's like when you've been together with someone for like 17 years, and you love her to death and you live with her and you built a family together and built a house together and everything is great, but she does one thing that drives you crazy, like constantly fucking not running the dishwasher when it's full, and then you keep telling her run the fucking dishwasher when it's full. Why wouldn't you just run it? And then she says, well, I thought you'd run it before you come to bed, but then it's like, well, I didn't realize you had filled it tonight, so why wouldn't you just fucking start it? It's my problem. I'll get through it. And finally, it's letter time. It's letter time. Chris Pinchin wrote in and said, hey, Adam, do you ever fall asleep while gaming? Yes. And I didn't think this, originally I wasn't going to make this my letter time letter, but I'm genuinely curious if anybody else does this. Dude, people ask like, how long did a game take you to beat? The in-game timers mean nothing to me because I was just saying on the daily, but it's on the weekly at least. I'll be playing a game and I will just like pause it and just recline my chair and pull my hoodie up over my eyes and just snooze for 20 minutes or half an hour and then wake up and then just pick up my controller and keep playing. Does anyone else do that? I do that all the time. It's the same, like it takes me 3 tries usually to get through a movie because I'm always falling asleep. But video games, I will constantly do that. I don't shut it off. I just pause it and then just rest the controller on my gut and go to sleep and then wake up, pick up the controller, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's like I just sneezed. And I just go right back to playing. But that in-game counter has been fucking running the whole time. So I don't trust those things. Fucking run by the government. Anyway, thank you for all the submissions, everybody. As always, we got to keep this ball rolling. So let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries Play 1, Remake 1, Erase 1. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, the remake one is a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in a minute. This week, since we're talking Mega Man Battle Network, I went with 3 of the highest rated GBA RPGs on Metacritic. So we have Fire Emblem, Tactics Ogre, and Golden Sun. And a whopping 41% of you voted to play Fire Emblem, remake Golden Sun, and erase Tactics Ogre, which I will tell you is the wrong answer. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Fire Emblem said, play Golden Sun because I'd never heard of it until now, and when I looked it up, it reviewed extremely well, so I think it's worth a try. Remake Tactical Ogre and make it a mobile game because it deserves a remake and it should stay handheld. And then erase Fire Emblem because I'm a mortician and cremate dead bodies all day. I sort of embalm people in fire and erase their bodies from the face of the earth. It's the only thing I'm at. In fact, I'm doing it as I type this. Keep a good thing going. I put these comments into these notes a month ago when I was prepping to write this show, or to record this, and I'm sure I had a witty comeback to this, but now I'm just, holy fuck, Paul Bear listens to my fucking show. I hope you didn't drop your phone, Fire Emblem. That's crazy. Holy Jesus. Vinsel said, I would play Tactics Ogre as I never have. I'd remake Golden Sun because that series needs some love, which leaves Fire Emblem GBA to be erased. Although as my introduction to the series, there are so many and they keep getting better, which I think is fair. I have not played the OG Fire Emblem yet, but it is one of those games where there's so many that's like, yeah, all right. I get it. It's like Mega Man. I understand. Toon said, I would play Fire Emblem. I'd remake Golden Sun because Fire Emblem has had so many games made, and it would like a modern Golden Sun, and then I would get rid of Tactics Ogre. I like that, Toon. Succinct, to the point. Oh, just because I only played it once, I didn't really get into it. Okay, well now it was succinct, and then you had to add that extra fucking sentence. But no, all right, fair enough. I get it. Again, though, that's just right. There is so many Fire Emblems. I totally get it. Slippery Pete, great reference, said, I'd play Fire Emblem to keep the pixel art in this franchise. It's also like a fun version of chess. It is. That was what I found when I played. My first Fire Emblem was Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS, and I was like, this is like chess. I fell in love with tactical RPGs because of that game. It's also remake Golden Sun because it's a great series that needs more games, and delete Ogre because I don't like the cover art. I never played it. I am a big fan of all of you that judge books by the cover around here. Soundest logic there is. I'm actually going with just 6% of you this week. 6% voted the way I did, as did Bill M., who said, I'd play Ogre Tactics since I've heard great things about it, but I've never had the chance to try it myself. I'd remake Fire Emblem since I love this game and I've played it at least half a dozen times, and it'd be cool to see it in a more modern style. And then I'd delete Golden Sun. I've also heard good things about this game, but one of them has to go, so this one's on the chopping block. I have far different reasoning, but same order. I'm going to play Tactics Ogre because I've never played it, and looking at all of them, I just thought it looked really cool. So I'm going to try it. I almost played Fire Emblem, but I'm going to remake Fire Emblem just because I know playing Fire Emblem as a remake wouldn't bother me as much as missing out on the original Ogre game, because Fire Emblem is still like, I've never experienced Ogre Tactics. I need to see what this is all about. Fire Emblem, I have the gist of it. So if you want to give me fancier graphics, like a 2D HD, a 2D HD Fire Emblem. And before you write in and say that's Triangle Strategy, I actually bought Triangle Strategy like a year and a half ago and still haven't fired it up because I'm so concerned about all the long-ass narrative scenes everyone keeps telling me about. And then I'm going to race Golden Sun because, it's a fine game. It's the only one of the three I've played, and I'm just straight up, I'll probably never play it again. So it's fine, though. It's good. There's an episode on it. Go listen to it. It's fine. Anyway, thanks everyone that wrote in as always. What have I been playing during my break? A lot, buddy. It's been a month of video games. So I've been playing, for modern games, I've been playing Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Really like that game a lot. It's like Fallout without the RPG elements, and you just walk around looting, and I really am enjoying Stalker 2. I'm still playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6, but I have to say, I'm at a point now where I play it like once or twice a week instead of daily like I was for a while. It's my first COD, so I don't know if that's like a normal thing. Like, it was fun, but I've just kind of burned out on it. I'm playing Stellar Blade on my PS5, which is very good. I'm just playing so many other games that I like a little better that Stellar Blade is fine, but I just never feel like playing it. Like, every time I sit down to game, I end up firing up Stalker 2 or Call of Duty or Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which I wrote off after trying it when it first came out because I just didn't care for it. I went back to it again between New Year's and now, and I still prefer the Uncharted Tomb Raider formula. I'm definitely getting the hype behind Indiana Jones now. It's a lot of fun. I'm also slowly working on a replay of The Last of Us Part 2, which I haven't played since it came out, just to get ready for the series, which is coming in April. Can't wait. And then for the show, I played Secret of Monkey Island, which we'll talk about in a couple weeks. I'm replaying Half-Life 2 right now to get ready for an episode, and I'm about to start Wild Arms, which won our illustrious RPG Patreon poll in December. I played Wild Arms way back in the day on PS1, but I never finished it, so I'm looking forward to going back to that one. Lots of games. Anyways, that is it. Here's what we're going to do. I need a drink of water. We'll pause here. We'll let a sponsor in to peddle their wares and help us keep the bills on. And when we get back, it is all Mega Man Battle Network talk. We'll be right back after these. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. at least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, let's get into Mega Man Battle Network. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the guest we're talking about before my guest and I hog the microphones. So let's see what a few of you had to say here. No one cares. Said, I grew up playing this game, and man, does it bring a lot of good memories. The first one isn't the strongest in the series, but I can't wait to hear what Adam thinks. I gotta say, everyone has told me that this first one is kind of like the weakest one, and I don't think this one is terrible. It's not my favorite game I ever played, but I don't think it's terrible. So if this is the weakest one, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Pickle Mage 00769 Noise. Sweet name. Said, nothing but these games all throughout my middle school years. Great games and love a lot of the OST, Iceman's area and this and Electric Man's were rough, but the games onward got much better too, is one of my personal faves. And we get into that. Iceman and Electric Man's areas in this game are the spawns of Satan. Agreed. Fuck me. I'm Rumi. Said, man, oh man, if this game doesn't ooze nostalgia for me, I remember getting this on my GBA back in the day and loving it. Not your typical Mega Man game, but nonetheless, I like the changes, and also the animated TV show wasn't bad either. I recommend trying the Mega Man.EXE transmission on GameCube. It's the characters from these games, but gameplay is more OG side-scroller. I think you'd like it, blank man. I'm going to be honest, Rumi, I actually bought Mega Man.EXE transmission on my Cube back in the day, and I didn't love it. I appreciate the suggestion. I don't mean to poo-poo on your salad, but maybe I need to go back and try it again. It's not cheap now, but I did try it back in the day, and it just didn't tickle my butter. But I mean, I'm a lot more open-minded now at 41, so who knows? Bradley Morton said, oh boy, let's go. I've been a fan of these games from the jump and played every single one. Yeah, the story across the games is meh. Agreed. But the battles, so good. Agreed. I loved how each playthrough got harder and some bosses were absolutely brutal. I watched the show as I played the games back then, and it was definitely fully immersed in the universe. I was in the target demographic for sure. Nothing like a fifth grader saving the world from internet terrorists multiple times. The first game was pretty mediocre, but each game was an improvement on the last. Battle Networks 3 and 6 are definitely my favorites. Jack in, y'all. And yeah, prepare to hear a lot of the term jack in, everybody, on this episode. And finally, Char Aznabear said, I got this game for the year I got uprooted from the town I grew up in, and I got put in a brand new high school where I knew everyone. Is that where I knew everyone, or is that supposed to be I didn't know anyone? Anyway, I just can't express how much this game meant to me. I wanted a pet without redacted spoiler inside so badly. You'll all understand what that means when we're done this episode. And it's time to get to the episode. It is time to talk Mega Man Battle Network. It really encourages me that so many of you are like, they just get better and better, because that's what I'm looking for. First one, fine. The first one was like grilled cheese. The second one is like grilled cheese cut diagonally with ketchup. If that's what we're getting, then I'm in. So let's go. Keegs and I are talking Mega Man Battle Network. I'm going to cue up some music. And when it starts, we're going to take you back to the GBA on October 31st of 2001 and talk Mega Man Battle Network. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. It's good to be back. Let's go. All right, joining me. Dude, this episode has been a long time coming. I feel like for a month and a half, I've been like, hey, next week we're doing Mega Man Battle Network. And then it hasn't happened. It's finally time. We rebooted the fucking internet drive or whatever you call the internet in Mega Man Battle Network. It's time. Joining me via the blank phone is my man, Keegs. Keegs, how are you? Happy New Year.
I'm pretty good. I just resetted the internet drive.
That's what you have to do. We are talking Mega Man Battle Network, which takes place on the Internet Drive. People have been, I mean, listen, everyone knows that I am like a, Mega Man's balls are basically tattooed on my chin. Everyone knows I love that guy. I've never played these Battle Network games. People keep telling me to play them. Finally played this first one. I don't know if I love it, but I will say I'm captivated by I'm intrigued. Where are you on Battle Network?
I love Battle Network as a whole. The first game, I'm pretty well in the same vein as you, where it's just like, yeah, this was a really cool effort at completely changing the Mega Man formula, and it worked. But it's definitely going back, and I tried emphasis on that, to replay it a bit, to a little refresher for the show.
Yeah.
Couldn't get very far.
Yeah,
it's one of those series where it's like really fucking cool concept for a first game, and they just kept doing it better and better as the series went on.
Yeah, which you could actually probably say about the original Mega Man games as well.
Yeah, and then
Mega
the
Man
difference
1's
with
a little
this
rough,
one is that they remade this one on the DS in Japan and never translated it. And we didn't get that one with the collection. We just got the original one, because the remake just cleans up some of the little quirks. Like there's like a bonus mission in it, which is whatever, but it mostly just makes the internet map not as much of a strain on the eyes.
Fuck.
Like it changes like the colors and stuff. It makes it so it's not as easy to get completely fucking lost.
And we'll get
to.
We're gonna get to that fucking holy Jesus. We're gonna get to that fucking map.
Yeah.
These are funky. I've never and it's odd that I've never played these, because I love Mega Man and I love tactical. I would say tactical RPGs are my favorite RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. And so the idea of a Mega Man tactical RPG, I'm like, well, how have I not played this? And I have to say, I hesitated momentarily to say this, because I don't want to encourage all of you to send me. Please don't send me games. People send me games. I'm like, buy games. Okay, I'll write them off.
Send me the games.
Yeah.
Adam doesn't want them. Send them to me
for my games. So don't send me them. But shout out to Big Deal, who sent me this collection quite a while ago to finally try it, and I did. We're gonna get into it, but there's enough about this game that like. Everyone was telling me just start with number 2, skip number 1. And I don't like doing that. I'm like, I want to see where this started. So I did it. I get why people told me to skip number 1. I'm glad I didn't, but I can safely say I will keep playing this franchise, but I will never play this one again.
Yeah, that's pretty well the consensus across the internet.
Yeah, there's enough.
If you can get your hands on the remake, like a ROM or whatever, play that. That one's still fun, and especially it ties into like the bonus missions, like a tie into the Star Force series. But otherwise, like, yeah, the improvements from the first to the second game are just like so much. It's just like it's one of those rare instances where just like they put out the first game, learned every mistake they made, and just improved on it pretty well across the board with the second game.
The cliche walk before you run thing.
Yeah.
So if you've never played this one, everybody, it's a spin-off Mega Man. It's like a different, and basically you play as like this kid. He's like a 5th grader kid. I have to say too, I'm straight up taking half a point off of it at the end of the game for all the pun names.
Oh yeah,
I've had enough. It
gets worse. The names get worse. It also gets a little kind of like, it's definitely a product of the early 2000s.
Sure.
I guess we should probably also say some of the names are a little, riding the line of like, that probably wouldn't be okay.
Yeah. Like the main character's mom is Dial-Up. That's her. No, I'm kidding. That's but like the main character's name is Lan.
Yeah, but like they have like all the places are based on like real life places in the earth, and like you go to Africa and it's just called Netfrica.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
So you play as this kid, Lan, and he's like a 5th grader, and apparently everyone in this world is regularly, quote unquote, jacking into the internet. And they're like programs they control live in there, and Mega Man is Lan's program guy that he puts into the internet to go to the internet and fight viruses.
I mean, it's basically like how the world is now.
It kind of is.
Considering it came out in like 2001, they did a pretty good job at predicting some of the future stuff.
Yeah.
We're not jacking in with our phones, but
But we
tech is in
basically
it,
do
fucking
all live on the
everything.
internet.
We do
Yeah.
have smart appliances like they predicted in the Mega Man games. You can't jack into your fridge, but you can play fucking Doom on it.
Yeah. I bet you there's a fridge somewhere you could jack in. So that's the
I don't think
basic.
I want to
Like,
talk about jacking into fridges
no, I don't either.
anymore.
We've said jack in too many times already.
We're gonna say it a bunch more.
I know, but that's the basic premise. Is you basically the game is split between living in the real world as this fifth grader named Lan, and then living in the internet or the net as MegaMan.EXE. And I have to just like, I understand that this is very like superficial of me, but part of the reason I've avoided the Mega Man Battle Network games, like I really really hated the way Mega Man looked on the cover of these boxes. Like I love, and this comes from a man. I should point this out, and for our younger listeners that maybe this is the Mega Man look up the box art for the original Mega Man video game. That's one of my favorite box arts ever.
Oh, it's so good.
I
want to get that as a poster. Do you have a poster of that yet?
No, I don't, but I want one. I want one so bad. We might do a T-shirt based on that box art someday.
That's
it's so
fucking
bad.
good.
So
as long as it's your face.
Oh, it's just awful. Like he just looks like this disgruntled man in a yellow suit.
Not
with
even
a gun.
centered. Like the proportions of everything are off. Like, yeah, it's just fantastic. Looking at it right now.
It's awful.
So good.
So I like when I first I used to see the covers to this and I didn't realize they were tactile games for a long time. I thought they were just like a new Mega Man, and I was like, I don't want to play as this skinny wiener Mega Man with his stupid hat and his stupid face. But now that I've played the game, I still don't care for Lan. Like he annoys me, and frankly,
he's 10, so that's
fine.
pretty normal. That means you're a normal. That means you're a normal 40-year-old man if 10-year-olds annoy you.
He annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But when you're playing as Mega Man, like his design now, I'm like, all right, his design's kind of cool. I can get on board with it. The big problem I have with this game, there's two, but one of the big problems I have with this game is the gameplay is almost a 50-50 split between being in the overworld, playing as Lan, skating around on roller skate shoes, solving problems and shit, and then going into the internet as Mega Man, fighting viruses and traveling and shit like that. And I'm curious to know what you think about it. I understand when you play an RPG, a lot of an RPG is set in the overworld and walking around and advancing the story and talking to people and stuff. I personally found there was far too much time spent in the overworld as Lan in a storyline that I didn't particularly care about. I'm not sure if you felt that way or not, but too much, like,
spoiler
especially
alert.
The part.
I love it. I love it because that's what the game is. I think I do agree. Like the game is better when you're playing Lan, but like it is kind of just like a mess story. I like the story and the bouncing back and forth between the two of them a lot more when I was younger and could relate to Lan more. Now replaying it, it's like, I don't care about the story as much. I do want to just get into the battles because that's where the meat is on the bone. But I do think that the way they do switch back and forth between the Lan and Mega Man stuff all the time was really cool. Like when you're like in doing puzzles and stuff, and it's like, oh, now you got to go do something with Lan to change how it works for Mega Man. Like it wasn't like blow my mind cool. It was just like, hey, pretty cool that they were able to do this on the Game Boy. Like
I'll concede
neat little way to mix up the formula a little bit.
I'll agree there. I don't mind the fact that you switch between these two like worlds. I got that. I don't have, that's fine. What I found though was that like I found 3/4 of the time that I was playing in the overworld as the little boy Lan, I found it so tedious. Like, oh my God, fucking, okay, skate to school, talk to all the kids in school, find the locked door in the school. Okay, skate to your dad's work, go find your dad's office, skate to the other part of work. And I just was like, okay, like I don't find, like, I found the internet stuff and the idea of like Wily being in the internet and you have to stop the viruses and that other person with the Proto Man, like all that shit was Shod or whatever the fuck their name was, and Proto Man. I liked all that, but it was just the like, maybe it's because I'm older. It was probably better played as a younger person, but all the day-to-day happenings of a fucking like grade 5 kid or whatever, I was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And they're dude, the part where you have to go to like the downtown and like find a gift or whatever, and you're just going
Oh,
from
yeah.
one city block to another city block, and you have to wait to cross the streets and find the right routes to go to the different areas of the city. That was the shit where I was like, let's get back to fighting viruses with Mega Man.
Yes,
That was the part that
some
was
of the
losing me.
some of the puzzles are very polarizing. In the series as a whole, there's quite a few polarizing puzzles. That's one of the puzzles. But the first game, I found a lot of those puzzles overstayed their welcome.
Oh,
It was just like, okay, cool idea for a little puzzle. And it's like, okay, this has gone on 5 minutes too long already.
sure. I can
Like,
understand.
maybe it's
listen,
a product of being on the Game Boy, so like that was like, oh, you know, your 5 minute bus ride or whatever. You just
maybe.
plug away at the puzzle a little bit and then go. I don't know, but so yeah,
I-
I mean, some of the puzzles, it's just the way she goes. Sometimes the puzzle sucks.
Yeah, I felt I have to say personally, I and listen, if you love this franchise and you're worried I'm going to shit all over it, I like what it's doing. There's a lot of warts on this one that I'm under the understanding are cleaned up later. In this one, it felt like busy work. Like it felt like a lot of busy work when you were playing as Lan, just skating around town, talking to people. And
Yeah,
I didn't find
that
it fun.
balance of going from 2D platformer to an RPG with a difference. Like it's just too big of a change. I think just you got a lot of those growing pains when you jump genres like that.
Yeah.
So
It was just, oh my God. Like it starts out fine. Like I don't mind like the first part where you have to like fight the fire virus and like save your house and that, like some of that was fine, but it did eventually get to the point where I just was like, it was when you went downtown was when it really lost me.
yeah.
And I kept playing it, but I just was like, every time I had to just skate around like that with that little freak, I was like, fuck me. Like, let's just, oh my God. And that, I have another gripe, but we'll get there later. The going around the downtown as Lan got a little bit, I think where this game shines is obviously in the combat.
Yeah.
And I've played a lot of JRPGs. Like I'm not the world's biggest JRPG guy, but I've played quite a few for the show. And I genuinely did find, until the very end of the game, I did find most of the story and the overworld part very lacking. And that's something that I need in a good RPG. Either the combat needs to completely hook me, or I need a story where I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going to happen next? And that was my biggest problem, was like, so the fucking world is potentially at the risk of like being completely fucked by these hacker guys that are taking over the internet, and we're turning to this fifth grader kid to fucking save everything while he's also skating around downtown trying to find presents.
Yeah.
And fuck me. Ugh. But I'm looking at it from the eyes of a 40-year-old man, like you said. If I was 13 and I had this game when I was in like grade 6 or whatever, I don't know how old you are in that, whatever. Maybe it would have spoke to me a little more.
Yeah, you were about 13 in grade 6.
Yeah, I think I was.
You specifically.
Yeah. My deep dark secret. So, no offense to any of you out there that are, but like so I found the story like it would hook me, like when that Chod, whatever the fuck,
Chode, yeah,
and Proto Man would show up. I'd be like, oh, and then I'd have to like go in and fight.
His
like
name's French.
Right, Chode.
Yeah,
Chode.
Hot in French. Show.
That kind of shit would hook me, and then it would just feel like I'd have to go through like half an hour of like busy work to get to the next part that was interesting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I think that part, the busy work in between the plot hooks, is a product of it being on a handheld.
Yeah,
but
it felt like padding to like lengthen the game. You know?
I think it there's still a lot of busy work in between the cool stuff later in the series, but it does get a little bit better. This game was definitely a lot more on the tedious side with a lot of it.
Oh,
there's a lot of like run to a completely different map, like you were saying, to just talk to an NPC to then go to a different thing. Like not even like get an item from said NPC to take to a different one. Like,
and what's
literally
funny,
just talk to then go talk to a different one.
Yeah, and is it not ironic that like this whole game is focused on the internet? And I was like, so why can't we just send email or text?
You get emails, but yeah, just not enough.
Like,
it's like more of this needs to be done on emails.
Yeah. So that part irritated me. And then I got to tell you, man, maybe I'm just dumb, but like for a game that I don't want to say it was like designed toward children, I had to look up a couple of like, there's one part where you have to go back to like a car that's parked by the school and look in the car. And I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, a
Maybe
couple
I
of
just
them
missed
are a
the.
little obtuse. Like
Yeah.
there's some that it just like will tell you like basically like will just exposition you like, hey, here's what you got to do to progress the game. And then sometimes it'll kind of give you like 80% of it, and then you have to talk to just like a random NPC that you don't know you need to talk to, and that'll give
Yeah.
you that last bit of information. But then sometimes you don't get any new information from talking to NPCs. So it's like one of those weird ones where it's like talk to everybody will help you, but also you don't need to talk to everybody except for certain times you need to talk to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of
Just
stuff, like I'm gonna flip the positive, I promise. Like, but
yeah.
that kind of, because I figure like let's cover like the overworld stuff in the first part of this, and then we'll go into the Mega Man part in the second
Yeah.
half. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. We get the bad out of the way now, and even then the bad isn't bad. It's just like,
no,
yep,
no,
this is a growing pain of the first game in a series. It's just like, yep,
yeah,
this sucks, but it's not like I don't want to play this game anymore cuz it fucking sucks.
yeah.
Like,
I've
I don't
played
want to play
worse.
specifically this game anymore, but
No, but I'm
yeah.
intrigued. So,
It's good for a one and done.
yeah.
I say that now.
And then, as I probably have mentioned during the infamous intro, like we're spoiling. It's a fucking 24-year-old game. We're spoiling shit.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, I frankly, I wish the story had picked up more in the first 3/4 of the game. Because in the first 3/4 of the game, like you're eventually you kind of see Wily, which I'm so excited that I was like, there he is. And like,
Yeah.
we know that this fucking chode
And he looks
person
like
is,
shit.
he does, but he's there. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
he's there.
But it's also
And
been like 200 years or something, so
yeah. And this Chout guy is walking around and he has Proto Man. So I'm like, all right, my regulars are there. That's fine. We got to stop Wily. All that's fine. Then right near the end of the game, that's when you find out that the Mega Man that you're controlling with Lan is actually like the like consciousness of his dead twin brother
yeah,
that his dad put in.
yeah, that was a fucking wild revelation
That's
when
awesome.
I was like 13.
Fuck,
was
that dude, that was a
like-
wild revelation when I was 40.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
It was
Now-
so crazy. Like it didn't even really like I was too young to really understand it when I first had that happen. I was like, okay, cool, it's his brother, and then like revisiting the games later and stuff because obviously that's a plot device that comes up later in games and stuff. I'm just like looking back on it, I'm like, man, that is fucked up and traumatizing. Holy shit.
It's deep. Like there's no
Like,
I can't think of a lot of death storylines in like the original Mega Man games.
Yeah.
Like that I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Nothing
holy
that.
fuck.
Yeah,
And, like,
nothing
and I
quite
get-
as much as like, yeah, your twin brother died, and so we saved him by putting him into a computer.
Yeah. And like the thing about it is I get saving that big plot twist reveal till near the end of the game because that's your as you're going into like the finale, it's like, hey, by the way, like I understand that. But my thought when I found that out was like getting back to my issues with the overworld and shit. I was like, so where the fuck was this kind of writing for the first 3/4 of this game? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you had to tell me that my twin brother's dead and I'm controlling him he's my Mega Man, but like you wrote something spectacular.
Give me some breadcrumbs to that.
Thank you. Yeah,
Maybe.
something. Because
Yeah.
it's like all it is like you go to your dad's work and you need to figure out like why isn't the water turning on? And it's like, well, everyone here is incompetent but this fucking 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, that was the shit where I was like, give us, breadcrumbs is a great way to put it. Give me something. Because like I spent the whole game thinking like the gameplay is fun, but the story sucks. And then at the end, you hit me with this fucking story, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
did you forget to write the first 3/4 of the game? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They kind of like minor spoilers, I guess, for the rest of the series. They kind of don't do a lot with that either. It's just kind of like something that is just
Sure.
exists. Like I think they use the plot point a few more times, but not nearly as much as like I feel like whole different universe, right? Like that's a different reality where like they dial in on like that as the main plot point.
Sure.
Just it feels like they should have because of how good the writing was for that scene, I think, but whatever.
Like just even if it had just been like, I don't know,
it's an RPG. Give us good story through the whole thing,
right?
not
like,
just this little nugget right at the end.
like when you fight the fire virus near the beginning of the game, it's because this weird fucking hipster doofus repairman like put him in your house and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna burn your house down. And then your mom is just standing there like, what are we to do? And it's like, I guess I'll go into the internet and fight the fire virus and that'll save us. And it's like, I wish that like I like put Wily in earlier and just have him be like, we got to start causing more like, you know what I mean? Like just something that was frankly my my biggest gripe with the game was just that, like, why am I the one that has to save the world when I'm a fucking kid with this? You know what I mean? Like, but anyway,
I thought the same thing when I played
ending.
it, and then I grew up and became an adult. And I'm like, man, why did this kid have to save the world full of all these incompetent adults? And then I became an adult, and I'm like, oh, because the world is full of incompetent adults.
Exactly, and
it's based on real life. Who knew?
Credit given. Or to be fair, I think this game was marketed toward people around Land's age. And so maybe it's unfair of me to be like, well, why wasn't there any story other than a kid has to save the world? But I just would have liked to. And you know what? I don't know if I would be saying that if you didn't tell me in the last hour of the game that it's my dead fucking brother. You know, like if you hadn't suddenly got mature, maybe I would have just been like, it is what it is. But out of nowhere, you fucking plot twisted it. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who like the main target demo would be for this game, because you'd think like, you know, maybe RPG for like Mega Man fans, or like, you know, but like, because like the story is kind of like, you know, low stakes and like easy to follow like for younger people, but like the complexity of like the battles and the card management and stuff feels like it'd be a little too much for a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, yeah, that feels a little bit more advanced. And then, yeah, like that big hook at the end, like fucking 10-year-old can't process what that means.
No, blew my mind. So, so we'll go to break, and then we'll cover the Mega Man internet, which really is in my opinion, the meat of the game is when you're in the web or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else from the overworld that we didn't bring up that you'd like to point out before we do this? Because like I think it's not that it's
could have brought up more about him rocking roller skates. That's just pretty cool.
It is
from I gotta going say, from all the games where all you do is either walk or run on the overworld, and he gets fucking rollerblades. In 2001, rollerblades were pretty hot.
Credit given, because listen, we've all played JRPGs where you're controlling your character in the overworld, and you're like, fuck, what I wouldn't give for like a run button. Mm-hmm. So like Earthbound, I love you, Earthbound, but the fact that I can't ride a bike once I've got a second party member is like, oh god. So I will agree with that. Being able to hold the button and actually skate everywhere is pretty dope.
Yeah. And there's nothing more than a 12-year-old wanted to do than be able to just rollerblade literally everywhere.
Sure.
But no, also, turns out society doesn't like it when you do that.
Also, one other thing about the overworld that I actually really enjoyed was, and I didn't figure it out till far later, and then I kind of went back and started trying it. Like, you can jack into a lot of stuff. Yeah. And find these like random, like, dude, I like ran into Skullman that I had no idea was even in the game. And I was like, holy fuck. Cause it was an optional, like that was actually, if you want to, I think one of the keys with a good handheld game is that you need to give a lot of meat on the bone. You need to give people stuff to do and stuff to find. And once I realized like, there's no inkling that I can just go up to this pot and fucking jack into it and go to the internet. Once I figured that out, I was kind of going back and like, trying to see which old Mega Man bosses I could run into and stuff. Yeah. And I really enjoyed
items and stuff like HP upgrades, random battle chips and stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit all over the place.
Yeah, so I thought that was very cool. I'll give it that. But overall, Overworld looks nice. The music, not my favorite GBA soundtrack, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I like the music. It slaps. It fits. I found
it did.
Like there's like some remixes of like old boss music and stuff. It hits the same as the old ones did.
But it was, again, though, I found the music better when I was like, almost every aspect of this game I enjoyed more when I was in the net or in the web or whatever the fuck. In the overworld, I think part of the reason I started to get sick of the music was because I spent so much time skating around in the overworld trying to figure out
and it's like that one song.
Fuck. Anyway, okay, let's let it break.
Quick before on the music, the fucking title track slaps.
Very
so
good.
Hard.
Very good. When the music in this game is good, it's great.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
But that's just Mega Man music in general. Like Mega Man, when the songs are good, they're really fucking good. When the song's not good, it's a song.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there are, like, I'm biased because I'm a Mega Man junkie, but like there are a few franchises in gaming with a better collective collection of music than Mega Man.
Yeah.
Like music slaps. Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll go to the internet. We'll talk about the combat and my other big gripe with this game, but also the thing I like the most. We'll be back. Shut up. We'll be back. All right. So when you're not skating around this town trying to figure out where to go with this stupid kid, you're in the internet running around as Mega Man. And I might as well just get the negative out of the way first. Trying to figure out where the fuck to go.
Holy fuck.
buddy. Running around some of these fucking
All
web
of them.
areas
No,
in this
some.
game.
All. There's not a single. The only ones that aren't confusing are the random things that you can jack into where the map is just a fucking square.
Agreed.
Every
Holy
other map
Jesus.
is fucked.
Some of the
Awful.
like there's like a main internet world where as you unlock areas to get into different, like you unlock like someone's like IP address or whatever the fuck, and you can get into other webs and shit like that. But running around like with no map, that's the problem. With no map, the amount of I probably spent 2 hours of my playtime literally just running aimlessly, trying to figure out what up, down, right, left, because it's that isometric view, trying to figure out what ramp or something I haven't taken yet.
Yeah, like the isometric view is great. We didn't bring that up before, but like I really like the isometric view, especially in the overworld. In the internet specifically, the way the internet is laid out in the first game fucking sucks.
Awful.
The isometric view makes it even worse.
It is. If you've not played it, it's not like a big open area. It's like narrow paths, like roads, and you're just randomly running around trying to find the next exit. And I'm not going to ding it for having random encounters because I know that's just an RPG trait, especially of old RPGs. I will ding it when the
RPGs too.
Yeah. But I will ding it like I did Earthbound Beginnings when the random encounters are too frequent. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. The encounter rate definitely dials itself back a little bit going forward. But yeah, it's bad. And then especially with how often you're getting lost. Yeah. It's like,
especially
the map, it feels like old school first person RPGs, like the old school dungeon crawling RPGs where you're just like, even if you write down your paper map as you're going, it's still a bit of a fuck around to try and make sure you're lining up your map with where you are. Like even with a map, it's hard to navigate.
I looked up maps. I finally gave up.
It was the first thing I told you. I told you right away. You're like, hey, I'm going to do Battle Network. You want to cover it? I was like, yes. I won't tell you any tips except get a fucking map.
And I was still lost, even with the maps, because the problem is there's no like when you're in like the main web and it's like the green ground or whatever the fuck, like there's no landmarks. There's nothing to like, there's very few like discernible things to figure out where you are. So if you're following it on a map, like on your computer screen or whatever the fuck, and you take your eye off the prize for a minute, it can be hard to even figure out where on the map you are.
Yeah, because it all just the exact same intersections. Like you can't even use NPCs as landmarks because they have like 3 different NPC models that they use.
Yeah. Fucking maybe, and then like you said, add in the random encounters, and then like I try to enjoy the combat, which we'll get to in a minute because that's its own discussion. But there's no experience points. Like all you get out of combat is currency and or maybe a new card. And a lot of like, I don't know about you, but like 4 out of 5 cards I acquired, either I already had, I was like, I don't need any more of these. Like I get that you can collect them and then trade them in to try to get better cards and stuff. But there was no, what's the one I'm thinking of? Paper Mario and the Origami King. I liked that game, but the combat irritated me after a while because I was like, there's literally no reason to fight. There's no grinding. There's no leveling up. And it was the same in this. I got to the point where I had tons of money. I had tons of cards I could trade in. The fights meant nothing to me. And the most frustrating part is then when you get into a fight, you can't even run away unless you happen to draw a runaway card.
Yeah, that gets fixed. I'll tell you that now. They let you just run away from battles instead of wasting spots on the fucking escape cards.
It was just
like I said, just weird quirks that they immediately got rid of. Like, oh yeah, no, that was a bad decision. But unfortunately, we're stuck with that bad decision in this game. That
kind of stuff is the epitome of what I'm talking about when I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm going to play more. It needs to fix some shit because buddy, sometimes the random encounters, it's literally like every fucking 3 steps.
Yeah.
It was
like, especially when you're having to go back and visit old areas, it's like, man, one chip kills a Metar. I don't need to fight a bunch of Metars. Like that's not a battle. And then add in the fact that you're trying to figure out where you are on this fucking map. Sometimes you have to go into like specific areas like the water place or the fucking electric place with the fucking missing tracks. You're literally running in air trying to find missing tracks and shit. And then you get drawn into a battle that you don't want to be in, that does nothing for you. And then you come out of the battle, and now you're trying to remember, so where was I going on this fucking, like... Yeah, because you have to pay attention to the battles.
Oh, God. There is no
autopilot
autopilot
Did you heal after every battle in this one? I can't remember.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and
every
then
battle
and
you
then
get
that changes going forward is you don't heal after every battle
oh,
going forward,
so
which is like one of the
fucking.
main things that is nice about this one. But
I
it
have
just
to.
makes it so you actually have to use your items in
Yeah,
later
I
games, which is
again,
fun.
I want to stress for those of you that love this. Like, we're getting into the combat in a minute, which I really like.
Mm.
But I have to. I can't imagine even the most diehard Mega Man Battle Network fan isn't like, the maps and the constant random encounters can get a little bit frustrating because a little bit frustrating is the like, dude. And then some of them like you need to solve a puzzle. There was like one, I think it was like an ice one or something, and to solve a puzzle, I finally had to look up what the fuck I was missing, and they were like, you have to go right to the corner of this path, then run up, but you need to be in the exact right spot to slide across the ice and fall into the right hole to open up the new path
Yeah,
to keep going.
the ice was bad.
Oh, fuck. And I was like, dude, I'm good at games. I think I'm 40 and I can't get that fucking
Yeah.
spot to keep this thing going. Fuck me.
Yeah, that's what I mean, where it's like cool idea for a lot of the puzzles, and then almost every puzzle just took it a little too far. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
It
that's enough
literally
of this puzzle now.
3/4 of my issues with this game could have been fixed if I could have just hit pause and seen a map, even if it literally just built the map as I went there.
Yeah.
And then I could look back and be like, okay, I haven't tried that place yet. That would
like
help.
the old school, like minimalistic, like Metroid map, where it just gives you a basic, an idea or something to reorient yourself. Yeah.
If you had just given me that and given me a way to escape battles without having to wait till I draw an escape card, those two things, 3/4 of my gripes with this game would be gone. Those two things, because God, the amount of time I spent just aimlessly going down the same fucking path, fighting the same fucking enemies, only to realize that I just went down the same fucking path
that you're just on. Yeah.
that I
like,
was.
Fuck! I just went down this, and this was the wrong way. Fuck.
Because you come out of a battle and you're literally just on a long, narrow strip, and I'm like, fuck, was I going left or right?
Yeah.
I don't remember because I just spent 2 minutes in a fight because I couldn't draw any good fucking cards. And again, the drawing good cards.
Yeah, because when you get out of a fight, Mega Man orientates himself, so he's looking at this. He's looking at you after a fight, doesn't he?
I don't remember.
After every fight?
I don't remember. It just it made me. Holy Christ! Let's get into the combat because I think the combat in this game is the star.
It's worth it. It's that good that it's worth all this other bullshit.
It's awesome.
Once.
Yeah. If you've never played it,
yeah.
If you've never played it, it's I was reading on the Wikipedia page that when they were developing it, they wanted to cash in on like the card collecting, Pokemon trading card, those types of things.
Yeah.
That was huge in that time. And so it's not like a classic Mega Man game. There's no action. There's a little bit. You can mash B and use your blaster.
Yeah, but
your
blaster fucking sucks. It's not like it takes a while. You can upgrade it and get it good eventually, but it takes a lot of work in every one of these games. It's not like old Mega Man where you can rely on your blaster and then other stuff. It is your blaster's there as like an emergency backup. So you're at least doing something.
Yeah, I found in this game, like, my blaster was basically what I would use to kill time until the meter at the top recharged and I could get more cards.
That's basically all it is for most of the game, unless you focus on upgrading it. And even then, upgrading it, it's a lot of upgrades to make it worth.
Yeah, it's just there for this. Yeah. So when you're playing, whenever you go into a combat, you start out in classic tactical RPG. There's like like the grid on the floor, like a board game or whatever. And it's like a 6x3 grid, and half of it, like 3x3 is Mega Man side, and 3x3 is the enemy side to start at least. And then you draw chips, which are like cards, and I think you can build a deck of like 30, I think.
Yeah, 30, no more, no less, I believe.
Yeah. And so then each turn you draw 5, and you can't use all 5. You can use the same. Like, so if you have 2 cannon cards that'll shoot like a big shot at an enemy, you can take both, or they all have like a letter attached to them, and you can use as many as you want that are all in the same letter in one turn. And so you draw a couple for your hand, and then it starts a turn. And what I really like about this turn of combat is, once you pick your hand or whatever, your chipset for that turn, then it does turn into a bit of an action game. You can move Mega Man freely and blast with your blaster, and the enemies move freely and do attacks that you get to learn their attack patterns of. And you need to actually be paying attention, dodge their attacks. And then you can use and I don't remember the buttons, but you can use like B to shoot your Mega Buster, or A to cash in the first chip. that is in your chipset. And it might be to heal. It might be to change the layout of the floor so that you have more room to move or enemies have less room. It might be to attack enemies, or it might be to escape, because to escape, you need to draw a fucking escape chip, which is the stupidest fucking decision of all time. And and then after you use your chips or whatever, there's like a timer at the top of the screen. And you basically just have to stay alive until that fills up again, and then you can go and draw another set of chips and do it again. And I have to say, dude, right out of the gate, as soon as they taught me how that system worked, like early on, you fight Gutsman, like that bully has the Gutsman chip and or net guy, and you fight him. I really genuinely thought it was I think it has a couple of warts, but I really like the concept of the combat in this game. It's a lot of fun. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Wily heard us talking about him and shut down the net, so we had to re-jack in.
Yep.
All I was saying,
we wouldn't say jack in anymore, but here we
know.
are saying jack in again.
It deserved
and again.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I lost you, but I was just saying how. Well, I do have the occasional gripe with the combat, like the whole needing a fucking card to escape.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy. I like the mixing and matching to build a deck of chips to best suit your play style. And I like the fact that there are some action aspects. Like, it's not just standing, like, you know, when you play a classic JRPG and you just kind of stand there and look at each other until someone's meter fills up and they can go. I like the fact that you can use your chips in the first like 3 seconds, and then you can move and dodge. You have to move and dodge and just kind of blast away while you wait for it to fill up to do it again. I really thought there was a clever combat system. It kept me hooked.
The balance between the dodging and attacking is pretty slick. There's a couple times, obviously, like if you get a bad hand where it's just like you use like a single chip, miss because you suck, and then are just stuck running around for a bit. But
yeah,
those kind of duds, that just is a symptom of having, you know, a deck builder style game. Like even any kind of one like Slay the Spire or anything like that, you draw a dead hand once in a while, away she goes. Now, but I think with the dodging and everything, and just getting that Mega Buster, even if you get that dead hand, you don't feel completely useless, like you can't do anything.
You don't.
You're still having to dodge around like you would have had to do, even if you got good cards. And
but the one, because I agree with you. The one difference is, like, Slay the Spire is probably the card game that I have the most time spent with, so that's what I'll reference. Like, if you draw a bad hand and Slay the Spire, then you're just like, fuck. Then you kind of just play defense and like bunker down for a hand, and you're like, all right, hopefully next hand goes better. Or same like poker, you know, like we've all been there, we've all done it. The one tricky thing in this one, and it's not even a criticism, but the one, I think it takes a little bit more balancing when you add in the action aspect of it, because I ran into there'd be the occasional enemy. Most enemies, once you learn their patterns and you learn how their attack, then it's not too hard to dodge for the most part. You just have to be on your toes and you're ready. But there was the occasional enemy, especially near the end, when enemies would start to push the map back towards you, so you had fewer blocks to move around and dodge on. If you drew a bad hand and couldn't kill any of them before they really got some of their attacks off, I did feel like I got shoehorned into the occasional battle where, like, I would get killed before I got a second or third set of chips. And it was because I drew bad cards and I just didn't have the freedom to fight back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely some of the battles like that, but I think it sucks. That's another fucking random battles, way she goes RPG symptom, right? Like, especially in late game stuff, like how many Final Fantasy games you just get a bad draw on an enemy and it's just like, okay, well, they killed you because fuck you.
And one piece of advice I have to offer everyone listening to this, if you decide to play these games, there is literally no auto saving.
Yeah,
there is no auto saving.
Make sure you save.
Yes, and it's not like, so like, I always think of Final Fantasy 2 on the SNES. Final Fantasy 4 is like one of the classic ones I've played the most. And like when you die, you have to go back to the last time you saved, but at least you come across like blatant save points, and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't saved in a while. Good point. I better save. This one, it's like, hey, it's on you. Better remember to save. And on more than one occasion, I finally found my path out of an area where I was lost, then got killed due to like the RNG of a battle, which I'm not mad about. That happens. But then when I reloaded, I realized I hadn't saved since I found the way out of that area. Yeah. And now I need to find my way out again. It is critical to your enjoyment of this game. You can save anytime. It is critical to your enjoyment. Every time you find a new path or something. For the love of fuck, save.
Yeah,
Like-
so I get in some points where I will save after every random battle because just it doesn't
Same here.
take long, and it's just like, especially when you get into some of those areas where like there's those enemies that's just like, this enemy is my kryptonite. For me, it's like those little zap rabbit dudes.
Yep,
That
exact
shoot
same
the
thing.
fucking lightning at you, like those
Yep.
guys. I don't know what it is. Every fucking Mega Man Battle Network game, I just
Yep.
struggle with them. They're
Yeah.
not even difficult to get their pattern, but they're just something with them. I just always struggle, and I've died more to those fucking rabbits than I have anything
Yeah.
else.
And
So I just
there are some
always
enemies
save
in these
if I know they're
games,
going to be there.
buddy. There are some that'll kill you in like 2 hits. Like
Yeah.
they don't fuck around. And to
Yeah.
get your health back, it's and it's like in the early, because this game at the early going in this game, I found it like almost obnoxiously easy.
Mhm.
And I was like, so why do I get my health back at the end of every fight? This is so easy. And then you get into the later parts of the game, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good thing I get my fucking health back every
It's like,
fucking.
oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, because there are no potions or anything. It's cards. And so if you desperately need to heal and don't happen to draw any cards that are healing cards, like that's when I would lose some fights. Is sometimes I would draw all healing cards early on. I'd be like, fuck, I need to get rid of one of these enemies quick, and I didn't draw any attack cards. And then sometimes I'm desperate for a healing card, and all I draw are attack cards, and I just straight up don't have the skill set to dodge everything, and I would get killed.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not criticizing it, because that's just par of the course for card battlers.
Card battles, RPGs, that's just the way she goes.
But when you combine it with the action aspect, which is fun, but it's very primitive, and it's not like you probably can dodge every attack in the game if you're good and you have the right skill set.
Yep.
But there were some that I never got good at.
This especially takes a lot of practice. It's just there's a lot of factors that the game is pretty well balanced in the battles, I find, but when the game has something that's just like against you, like whether it's a bad matchup against an enemy or like a dead hand, those negatives that stack up against you, when you get more than one of those negatives in a row, instead of it being like additive, it's basically multiplicative.
Yeah.
Like if you have just a bad enemy, okay, well you can just dodge the bad enemy for 30 seconds until your custom gauge is full. Dead hand, dodge the enemy for 30 seconds. Both of those, then that's like, okay, like you're got to do that, but you got a high risk of dying.
Yeah.
As well. Like it's just when it gets bad, it gets real bad against you.
Yeah.
But I found it wasn't very often that a bunch of negatives stack up all against you all in a row.
Agreed.
But when it does, it's basically, okay, well, that battle is a write-off. Might as well just fucking restart.
Yeah, it's a yin and then you're like, well, I hope I fucking saved, because it's because if you haven't, you're fucked. It's a very yin yang, because on one hand, it would frustrate me a little bit when I draw a bad hand and get a bad matchup against enemies and get killed because I didn't have time to draw the cards I needed to win. On the other hand, I quite enjoyed the combat, because in the downtime between drawing cards, at least I could still dodge and use my blaster. So it's take the good with the bad thing. It just, there were the occasional moments where RNG could completely fuck you in this game. And that's why saving is just so fucking beyond critical. Another thing I really like about the combat in this game, though, is as a diehard longtime Mega Man fan, every time I ran into a classic robot master, be it like Fireman, Iceman, Electman, Gutsman, Skullman, I got so happy when I ran into them. And dude, because when you beat some of them, you would get like a chip where you could like then use, like summon them to, it's not like a classic Mega Man where once you beat like Fireman, you get Fireman's weapon and your blaster, but you get the chip to call Fireman, and he can come in and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And,
they do, in one of the later games, they do add a similar thing to getting the boss weapons.
Oh, where you can just use them on your blaster?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's Mega Man Battle Network's version of that in one of the later games. Just that's all I'll say about it. I'll let you experience it for the first time when you get there.
I thought it was a great twist, though.
Yeah,
like because even
it's
early
really
on
cool
in
getting to use the boss cards.
Yeah, early on in the game, I got the base card. And dude, every time I pulled that card, I was like, well, this battle's over. Because he just hits the entire enemy grid for like 200. And I would just be like, get out there and finish this for me, please. And it not only was it cool to like get them as like chips in your set, it was just rad seeing these like alternate designs of them.
Yeah.
And seeing the way they would attack you. Like how their attacks from the games would translate.
Yeah, like a redesign of a classic character is always cool, especially in like a completely different art style like this. Like you said, you didn't really care for the new Mega Man. I really liked the new Mega Man when I first saw him. Like I thought he was just like really cool and sleek and slick. And but yeah, like all the remakes of the old Robot Masters and stuff are really fucking cool. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that first
really
fight
grows
against
on you.
Gutsman and Dex when you see him, and like Gutsman hops in, and he's just like big, and you're like, fuck yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that was the first one I ran into. It really, really grew on me. I really came to like that idea a lot. Like it made me want to go and just find things I could jack into to see if I could run across another classic boss, like another classic Robot Master.
Yeah.
Just to fight them, to get them on my side, and to see what they look like. I thought that was one of the highlights of the entire game. I thought that was awesome. I also
and even the new ones that they made, like Roll was pretty cool. Like obviously, like she was never a robot master. She was a character, but not a robot master or anything like that.
Dude,
before.
she's one of the best chips in this game too.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like what I do in all these games is she's usually one of the first Navi chips you get, and if you can, as soon as you can grind and get more of that one of her, I will try and get a bunch and just have those as extra because it's a heal and an attack.
Yeah, I had like
So
4 or 5 of her in my deck.
I'll stack those up instead of normal heals, unless I really want like another Navi chip, because you're limited to 5 of the Navis in your folder.
Right.
Like you can't just stack up your whole folder of 30 of just Navis and basically be a summoner. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
If that's what you do, instead of just attacking, you just summon all the net Navis.
And just sit back
dope,
and
but I do stack up Roll a bunch right away, because even if you don't need the heal, use her anyways. If you're like down like 10 health, she'll give you that top up, but it's the attack as well. So it's not like you're trying to minimize drawn dead cards.
I agree with that. Yeah, she's being able to like, especially when you get into some of the later fights, being able to attack and heal at the same time is
especially because she pauses. She freezes the screen and then goes and does the attack and then heals you. So it gives you like a nice catch your breath too. Like super busted card. Fantastic. No notes.
It's a great system. One of the minor criticisms I had of it was, and I'm curious to see if you thought this way. I found the management of my chips to be a little bit lacking. It's just one long list. Like you can't stack them all and have it say like, oh, you have 4 of this.
Yeah, the UI is a little clunky.
Yeah,
for sorting and everything. I don't think it really gets that much better.
And it's not a game breaker. It's just more of an annoyance, you know? Like it's like because you can go to the chip store or whatever the fuck it's called later, and then trade in like a bunch of old chips to like do a random pull and try to get a nice one, which is great because pretty well every battle you're getting a fucking another card. You're getting money, you're getting another card that you don't need most of them. So you can go and trade them in, which is nice. But it would have been nice if there was just a little bit. And I think part of the reason it didn't you could end up with like 20 of the same chip, but they'd have a bunch of different letters on them.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why it wouldn't just say like, hey, you have 20 of this chip. And in that case, it would have been nice if you could do that. Cause then instead of me like sorting through everything, it would have just been like, I have 20 of these, get rid of all of them right now. Like in one shot.
Yeah.
Like that minor thing, but just that kind of stuff, you know, like it's like, I feel like we've been saying this the whole podcast, but like literally everything about this game, I'm like, all right, it has potential. I just need to see it improved in the second one.
And then they did.
Yeah. And that's what
like pretty much everything. They're just like, yeah, that got better. There's a couple things. It's like, well, that didn't. The sorting of your chip folders doesn't really get better, but also not super critical.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
You give me
just by design, the way the UI is designed for that, it's going to be clunky.
Yeah.
The limitations of the Game Boy Advance as well aren't going to let you have a really robust user interface for menus like that.
Absolutely. But you give me some form of map and a way to escape battles and we're good. Like that's we're good. Like that's all I'm asking for. Just make it a little bit easier to find my way around.
I don't think you get maps later on, but everything else had like there's landmarks around the internet and stuff.
Something.
Yeah, like I think even just starting in number 2, like so when you go into AC/DC Town, like the net for that, there's like some things that are in the real world are also in the net. So like the elephant slide from the park, you'll see it pop up on a spot in the AC/DC internet version. And
Good
it's like,
enough.
so you know, like, oh well, this part of that chunk of the internet has the elephant slide. So you know, elephant slide is your landmark. You just got to go from the elephant slide, and like
Yeah.
they just add like little real world landmarks into the internet, which is just that helps.
Yeah.
So
Just
much more.
something to help me move around. Listen, as a Mega Man fan, Mega Man 1 is the weakest of the 6 original ones, but it ran so the other ones could run. I'm fine with that. If
It
that's
ran
what this
so they
one
could
did,
run.
it jogged so they could run there. But like if that's what we're gonna do with this
Yeah.
franchise, I'm down. I'm gonna play more of them. I'm intrigued. I came into it pretty skeptical, and by the time I was done, I was like, all right, yeah, I didn't rage quit. You've got my attention. It's I can't
I
think
rage
of
quit.
I came close. I had moments where I was
I
like,
got to the
fuck
fucking
this.
ice and I'm like, no, I got to the ice. I saw the ice. I was like, I'm not going through this again.
There's a cool concept here. Also, like aside from like Mario going into like Mario Kart and all those fucking things, I can't think of many franchises that go as far off the script of what they've done, but still stay loyal to the basic concept of Mega Man versus Wily with Proto Man and the Boss Man. Like very the one of the criticisms that get thrown around at the core Mega Man franchises is the same game over and over again, which fair enough.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right? Yeah. It's really cool to see them try something so different, and I'm like, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Probably never play this one again, but I'll play more of them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
If you do want to dabble in emulation, the DS version, you have to put a patch for the translation, but it does have a mini map on the bottom screen.
That's never gonna happen.
It's got a mini map.
I appreciate it. Yeah, but I still have like. How many more of these? I have like 9 more Mega Man battle.
Are you gonna play both versions of the later ones in the series? Probably not.
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Let's be honest, guys. Like, it took 6.5 years. It took fucking 6 weeks for this episode to actually come out. You guys will be lucky if we get Mega Man Battle Network 2 by 2026. But I'm gonna just know for all of you diehards that are like, you got to play the future ones that are later. Just know they are on my radar. A lot of games are on my radar, but it's on my radar. I'm interested. This was cool. Is there anything we missed that you want to touch on, or are we good to put a score on this thing?
I mean, we could talk more about the Robot Masters if you want to get into like specifics of like, oh, I'm on Fireman, but like they're just fucking cool. Go play the game. They were
cool.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about each individual Robot Master because they're really fucking cool. Go play the game and see how cool they are.
It's really neat. If you're a longtime Mega Man fan and you're a tactical RPG fan, I recommend picking up this collection. I would start with 1. If you don't finish it, you don't finish it because it really does turn into a bit of a grind. But just see where it started. And I'm telling you, if you're anything like me, like every time a classic Robot Master popped up, I was like, oh shit. Like I got so excited. Like that's half the reason I want to keep playing them is to see who else shows up.
Yeah.
So
there's lots more really cool ones.
Cool
Couple
game.
more duds, but lots of cool ones.
Sure. Cool game. I quite liked it. I'm trying to come up with
I'll say for everybody too, if, like I said, if you can, play the translation of the DS remake of it, if you can get your hands on it. If not, try it out in the collection. If you don't like it, jump to the second one. If you still don't like it, this game isn't for you.
Yeah, then they're not for you.
But don't write off the series if you don't like the first game. Try it. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, try the second one first before you write off the whole thing, because the second one just improves so much more.
Yeah.
This one's just like a neat pocket in time to go back and see where this spin-off franchise began.
Yeah, there's enough if you're a Mega Man fan who likes tactical RPGs, which is like then I as someone that likes both those things, there's enough here to get you to come back. I'm telling you. I'm intrigued.
Don't let all the negative we talked about scare you away. It's still a solid game. It's just one of those situations where they just improved on just about every aspect. There's not like, oh, well, but like this one really thing is still really cool in the first one. I guess the healing after every battle would be that. It's pretty cool that was in the first one and never again, but the other games are balanced that you don't need.
That's it. I would rather not have it. Yeah, I'd rather not have that. As long as you balance the combat, like I feel like it was straight up that this game would be unplayable if you didn't do that every battle.
Yeah.
Unplayable. But as long as you balance it in the future ones, then yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. How the fuck are we gonna score this thing? I don't want to score it out of 2001. That's fucking.
How many Robot Masters were in this one?
I have no idea.
Is there 6?
I don't remember. You know what? It was set in 20XX, so let's score it out of 20.
Perfect.
That'll work. Go ahead. You're the visitor.
I'll give her a solid 16.
Okay.
It's 80%, right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it pretty well everything I just said right before I gave the score is why it gets that score. Fun, really cool way to take a spin-off series, to go so far out of the realm of the original series, but still make it work. Just had some warts that just eventually went away. So 80%, solid game, just not fantastic.
I'm gonna go 13 out of 20. And if you think it's a low score, I don't love this game. I think it's more of a it's cracked the door open where I'm I want to see what else they did with this. So I have literally zero interest in ever playing this game again.
Yeah.
But it's got me intrigued to see where the franchise goes. Which if you know what, if that's the worst the first game in your collection does, then that's great. I am glad it's in a collection.
Right? If this is the worst game, pretty good series, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a cool game. So it's not. I will say it's not. If anyone's does it rank with your favorite Mega Mans? It does not.
No,
it does not. It does not make my top 10 favorite Mega Man games. But
I don't even know if it cracked 20.
No, I don't know if it does. But I'll hang around.
There's a lot of Mega Man games.
Trying to think. Again, for you diehards, I'm not saying I hate this game. It's fine. I'll play more. I'm trying to think if I have played a Mega Man game that I would rank lower than this if I was ranking every Mega Man game I've played. I don't think there is, but I can definitely think of RPGs that I would rank lower than this.
Yeah.
And that's what it really should matter to. It is, if you don't like RPGs, it doesn't matter how big a Mega Man fan you are. If you don't like RPGs, this game's not for you. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
There is
100%.
literally, outside of the references to classic Robot Masters, there is no Mega Man DNA in this.
Yeah. Like I said, the main thing that keeps it away from Mega Man is your Mega Buster is a last minute backup. It's not your primary, which is just, completely opposite of how old school Mega Man is.
Now, shoe on the other feet. I know some of you on the other foot. I know some of you have written in and been like, "Oh man, you're always talking about Mega Man, so I decided to try them. I hate those games; they're too hard." I get it. If you didn't like playing the actual platforming Mega Mans, but you like tactical RPGs, don't let this scare you off just because Mega Man's on the cover. Because again, it's cosmetic only. There's no Mega Man DNA in this. So give it a
There's a couple Easter eggs but you don't need to know jack shit about Mega Man.
From a gameplay perspective, there's no Mega Man here.
Gameplay or story, you don't need to know fuck all about Mega Man. They let you know who everybody is.
Yeah. They don't even reference the old Mega Man games at all.
Yeah, Wily's a bad guy, but that's well, you don't need to know the extent of him being a bad guy in Mega Man for him to be a decent bad guy in this.
And if you don't like Wily, if you think Wily's a bad villain, I have to say
you're wrong.
I question your integrity.
Yeah, if you don't think Wily's a good villain, stop listening to this podcast.
He literally is if you drew up the image of if you ask AI, hey, draw a villain, it might look like Dr. Wily. He's evil, he's bald with the poofing hair and sinister. Bald people are evil. That's what I want you to take out of this.
Every single bald person you know is evil.
That's right.
If you are bald and listening to this podcast, sorry to say, you're evil.
That's right.
You should see a doctor about that.
It comes from two people with full heads of hair. Which, before you think I'm gloating, I'm 5'6" and I can't breathe and I can't see and I'm allergic to everything. So let's just say you're 6'2" and in great shape and you don't have any allergies, but you're bald, you won. So, but let me enjoy my hair. All right. Well, I have it. Anyways.
Okay, well, I'm not 5'6" and I can breathe and see, so Adam's just speaking for himself there.
Yeah. Well, now you're just being a show off. So, all right, buddy. Good stuff. I'm glad I've been seriously trying to do this since the end of November, and we finally did it. So it's good to be back. This was the first episode of 2025. Keegs, good chatting with you, buddy.
One last thing, because I don't ever have anything to plug on here because I didn't even ask on the internet.
Yeah,
but I will plug something. So if you really like the gameplay, but you really don't like the story because it is kind of kiddie, But if you really, really like the gameplay of this and want something different, check out One Step from Eden on Steam. And I think it's on Switch and a bunch of other stuff. It's basically that same kind of card style build a deck combat, but it's like a roguelike style. And it's a bit more faster paced, but if you like the combat for the Mega Man Battle Network games, play One Step from Eden. That's my plug for the week.
All right. Yeah, I usually ask my guests, but I was like, Keeks never plugged the goddamn thing. I'm not asking him. So
now I'm going to force a plug in for somebody else's game.
All right, buddy. We're jacked in enough. I'm going to go jack out. So take it easy.
Do you need a hand with that?
No. That is going to do it for this week's episode, Keeks. Thank you so much for giving me a shout and talking a little Mega Man Battle Network. And to all of you listening to this episode, whether it's your first Remember the Game, maybe it's your 319th, maybe it's some other random number. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you for your understanding and patience during my little sabbatical while I was off fixing my brain. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling recharged, and I am ready to kick ass and take names in 2025 with a whole bunch more Remember the Games. And while I don't always promise you a schedule, I'm going to tell you right now, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, here's what you've got coming up for the rest of the month of January. Next week, we've already got this one recorded, so this one is happening. Now I don't remember what game next week we're talking Rock Ignite Adventures for the Sega Genesis. Fucking awesome game. I love that game. 2 weeks from now, we are going to cover the game that won our PC-centric Patreon poll a couple of months ago, Secret of Monkey Island, point-and-click game, legendary amongst you point-and-click nerds. I've got some mixed feelings on it, but I don't think it's like the worst game I ever played or anything, so that should be fine. And then to wrap up the month of January, assuming Tyler and I can make it happen, we'll be sitting down to talk about Half-Life 2, which won our first-person shooter poll from November, which I'm really excited about because I haven't played Half-Life 2 since I played it on Xbox like 20 years ago. I'm replaying it right now. And before anybody writes in, it's like, yeah, to play the extra episodes, I'm shooting to get through them. We'll see if I have enough time, but I'm hoping to. So that should make for a fun episode as well. Don't forget, if you're a Patreon, in just 2 weeks, on January 23rd, is our 5th annual Blanky Awards. It's the biggest episode of the year. Here to Remember the Game, we'll be telling you what won our Game of the Year as voted on by you and all that good stuff. And then in February, if you're a patron for the entire month, you'll be voting every day as we whittle 64 games down to 1 in our 2nd annual Pre-March Madness Patreon poll tournament extravaganza. Decide which game will be getting an episode of the show. Plus, there's lots of other games coming up. I'm playing lots of stuff right now. But that's the rest of your January. I'm going to thank some patrons and get out of here. It's good to be back. Thanks again, everyone. Leave us a nice review if you didn't hate the show. I'd really appreciate that. It's supposed to do good things for the podcast, but I don't understand it. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Cheers, so long. Goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I couldn't puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame. And as such, I am not only contractually obligated to thank all of you each week as quickly as possible, but after my break and the way you all stuck by me, I want to thank all of you as quickly and as sincerely as possible. So I'm just going to go oldest to newest this week because I haven't done this in a while, and this makes it easier on me. A huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mellow Magic Bunny, Joe Buck, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, I Like George, they're comfy and easy to wear, Dave McGee, Dan of Dissect That Film, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Confused But Still Here, Eldest Millennial, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang, Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squints, Dean Donian, Titan 420, Zonko 504, Jeff Bergeron, Daniel, John Woodruff, Randy Barrett, Just a Fish, Dano Plan, Holmes, Zach Shepard, Triple Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, It's That Nerd, James, Madam Nutsitch, DBXJ, Steve Dulk, Standard Ass Brian, Dude, Where's My Game, Mizuru, Juris, Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Jake Carter, Biddy, Laces Out, Dan, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon Who's Not a Surgeon, Rowe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Haga Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Cody Richardson, General Fury, I cancel my Netflix to afford this shout out, Max Lagroom, James on Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Drugs are bad, okay, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Nerdy Hybrid, The Fletchman, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Wimp 15, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Hitchy Poo, Burt Macklin, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Maverick, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monster SD Boner, AB Killen Works for Me, Alexander Camps, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R. Ichi Nutsuru, please refrain from tasting the knob, Just Car Pranks, rated excellent, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Youngster TK Adam Arnett, The Big Deal, Ryan Donahue, easy for me to say, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee Wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because 19, and Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod Von Hugendom II, Roger Starbox Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Max Sainton, Sour Goatface, Alex Ramos, Faded Sufferance, Benjamin Atkins, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Chris Hill is a master tromboner, I'm losing my voice. This is my second podcast today. J. Rodimus Prime, B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Kiku with a Supreme Chorizo, Fill Up My Farts with Mouth, E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Tornado, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Ayer, Sabin, Brian Richmond, Blobby Rogers, Bula, Matt Zeus, Too Much Carba, Plow King, Cesar, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, Kevin Kellums, Put It in H, Chaz Hammond, Elephant Cabs, Ace Magai, Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Daddy's Secret Little Chubby, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Toby O.P., Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, S, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Krusty's Clogger, David Schroeder, Theodore, Munkal, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Adam's former assistant, Ryan Stemmerding, Shank the Rat-Faced Bastard, Conebrad, Leo, Desiree, Super Saiyan Safarioth, Savage Booth, Combo Chuck, MacGyver 88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Zen Paladin, Captain Asberry Juice, Doogie Bowser MD, Rest in Peace Koopalings, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie 425, Akiris Network, Horrorstalgia, a podcast, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Botfucker, and Mikey Hag. Thank you all so much. That was bad. I'm rusty, but I'm not that rusty. I'm like just a little bit rusty. Take it easy, everybody. Good to be home. Back, whatever. Shut up.